But the point is, they're going to drag these oily booms across Pensacola Bay, up Bayou Chico, and the line was the Navy said you can't decontaminate here, and I'm like, what's the Navy for?
Well, part of it, they needed to get their pier back. I do know that. I also began following several days ago the issue of where they were going to be putting these things. I don't think anybody has a problem with them pre-staging where they are, but bringing things in and decontaminating them, it's like decontaminate them in the area that's already contaminated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. This has got to be unbelievably bang your head against the wall, frustrating, because you can do everything you want to. You can make all the calls you want to, use the influence you have, and yet it's still going on.
Well, it's sickening, I think, to everybody involved what's happened. BP, I think, has given every effort that they know to try to solve the problem. I don't believe the federal government has a clue, and if we do have a clue, we should have used it 4 weeks ago, how to get this thing stopped. And it is, it's pissing people off, including your congressman.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hope you didn't beep that, but
no. You're a grown up. We're grown ups here. I'm not going to worry about offending the ears of some little 6-year-old who's probably already heard it anyway.
We have not pointed fingers. We have not politicized. We have, and I say everybody has tried to hold it between the lines on the road to allow BP and the government to go forward and get this thing resolved. But I have no faith in Janet Napolitano at all, never have. And she is the person that's actually, they don't want to say this, but she is the lead agency because she has the Coast Guard under her control. And really the only person that's on the scene from a leadership perspective is Thad Allen. And I've said that in the past. That guy wants to get it stopped in the worst way and has tried everything that he knows how from the Coast Guard's perspective. But, and then you turn around and you find out that the EPA administrator is not going now, but was going to a Democratic Senatorial Committee fundraiser in New York City, that Obama has jetted out to California to raise money for Barbara Boxer. Look, this is the worst environmental disaster that has probably ever happened in this country. Obviously, the Exxon Valdez was much more concentrated. I feel for my friends and all of the folks on the Louisiana and Mississippi coast, the people that have made their livelihood, their families for generations. Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, is screaming at the top of his lungs at the federal government to allow him to use the only thing that they know for sure that will stop the stuff from getting into the wetland area, and that is building berms.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him. Jeff, can you hold on just a second? I got to hit traffic on the 5s at 6:55. Quick break. Jamie Lee, what do we got?
Well, we really have no accidents out on the roads right now. It's been a smooth drive in this morning. We'll hope it continues that way. If you see something, let me know. 2626111. I'm Jamie Lee with your traffic on the 5s on News Radio 1620.
Do you want to be a hero in your community? If so, the Medical Reserve Corps is the right place for you. With minimal requirements, the MRC can effectively keep you involved in your community and offer an array of hands-on continuing education training. Utilizing your unique skill set, you will work to build relationships with community partners and respond in the event of a local crisis. To apply to be on the MRC team, visit servefl.com or floridamrc.com.
6:57 at News Radio 1620. Congressman Jeff Miller making his bi-weekly visit to us telephonically. And the beat goes on, and everybody seems powerless at this point, and I think the finger pointing has started down in Louisiana.
Well, and the one thing is, everybody will be focused on watching that live feed today, hoping that the top kill works, that they're able to slow that thing to a trickle, if not shut it off. Of course, the only thing that permanently will seal it is that relief well that comes in from the side, and I'm of the opinion now that any well that is ever drilled at that depth or possibly, I don't know how this works mechanically, but any wells that currently exist out there, that you better put a side relief well in as a matter of course, because the experts have all said that is the only way that you will permanently seal this well off. And, then it's a part of doing business. I mean, the valves are great, I guess, the acoustical valve that everybody's talking about, but it could fail too. Let's figure out a way that there's a last. I mean, they were supposed to plan for a worst-case scenario. They obviously haven't planned for a worst-case scenario. And by God, it's time that any new permits, and if we can retroactively go back and make them retrofit, they better go back and fix it, because the American public are tired of it.
Yeah, and we have yet to get a tar ball or a drop of oil. There was some oil-covered bird they already ran tests on. It said that bird did not come from the spill, because birds don't make it 50, 75 miles covered in oil. That was something else entirely.
Well, you have no idea, but when you do see the pictures of the animals, the turtles, the birds, the things that have been affected, it affects everybody.
Yes, it
Remembering
does.
there were 11 souls that were lost in the explosion of that rig, that still we haven't determined exactly what occurred. I was talking with some folks yesterday. They have a pretty good idea. They're private. They're not part of the government or BP. I'm sure that will come out. This is going to be litigated for years in the courts.
All right, Congressman Jeff Miller. Jeff, I appreciate it. We're up against that top-of-the-hour hard news break. You understand.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you. Sooner than later, sir.